Hello, welcome to the Breathe In Yoga YouTube channel. My name is Lindsay, and during this video, we will be going over the different types of places you can do yoga and start off doing yoga, and also the pros and cons to each of those types of locations. So I hope you enjoy, and let's just dive right in here. So there's I'm just looking at my notes, about like 4 or 5 places you can do yoga. The first one being right at home, just like how you're doing right now by watching this video. You can do yoga right in your living room, bedroom, spare room. It doesn't really matter. Any place that's kind of quiet and a place where you can kind of just really focus on the yoga practice, focus on your breath and all those kinds of things. So those are some really good places. The pros to that is it's the cheapest. It's right in your own home. You don't have to leave the house. You just have to put down a mat and either start a YouTube video or start a few DVDs. So I actually started my yoga practice that way. I started by watching the Gayam's video, Yoga for Beginners, and have a whole bunch of DVDs there. So that was a very small minimum investment to kind of make towards the yoga practice, and it's perfectly fine. It really worked out for me. And some of the cons though was lack of motivation. You can do it anytime, so why not put it off till tomorrow? Or why not put it off till later this evening and then, something else came up. So you have to really, really work hard on the motivation aspect. It's also hard because you don't get any hands-on adjustments, which it's not the worst thing, but it's kind of nice to have those hands-on adjustments because you might think you're doing the pose right and you might not be doing it so good. So it's nice to kind of have those hands-on adjustments sometimes. The next place we're going to talk about is at a yoga studio. So some of the pros to this is it's a dedicated space for yoga. Everyone going to class is ready and going to be doing the yoga class with you. So it has a nice community feel to it. And you meet a lot of awesome people. I find the yoga community is very open and acceptable kind of community, lots of friendly faces, and you really get to know people, and you might even make a few friends from the class. And yeah, another pro is it has a little bit more motivation. So that was the next step I did when I was doing my yoga practice, is I started going to a yoga studio, which means the teacher can push you a little bit more into the yoga pose and can be like, come on guys, let's do this plank for another 10 seconds. And then you're like, okay, fine. So it has that little extra motivation level. And also hands-on adjustments. All the teachers in yoga studios will be certified teachers. So they're trained just like I am in positioning you in yoga pose. The cons though, it can be a little bit more expensive. It's pretty much like a gym membership, but all you do is yoga. It's okay because yoga is full body workout, but if you want to have a gym membership on top of the yoga membership, then it could be a kind of an expensive exercise kind of system there. Another con is you have to commute to the studio, and the studio has its own time schedule, so you can't just do it whenever you feel like it. You have to make that class, and it's always best to make the class 15 minutes early so then you can get in and relax. A lot of studios, if you get there too late, they actually don't let you come into the studio because that would disturb the other people in the class already. So those are some cons. The next one is private yoga. So this isn't exactly a place, but because private yoga is so versatile, you can do it in your living room, in your house or apartment. You can have a rented space. You can do it in the library. You can do it in another studio. It can be done everywhere. So that is a pro to having private yoga lessons. Another pro is the entire session is dedicated straight to you. So it doesn't really matter where you start off, how much knowledge you have going into the class. They will start at level 1 or level 5, wherever you're at, and it will start building up. So I like this kind of class also because you can ask a lot of questions with the teacher. Be like, am I doing this right? Is this like, I'm feeling kind of weird in my shoulders? Is that supposed to be there? And those kind of questions. So that's really great in a private yoga session. You can't really do that in a yoga studio because that would disturb everyone else in the class. So those are some benefits. Also, all the attention is on you. So no matter what pose you're in, you're always going to get adjusted if, the teacher sees any dangers or if you're going to injure yourself in the long run, those kind of things. Some cons is this is pretty much the most expensive kind of yoga outlet you can come up with. So anywhere between $60 to $120 kind of dollars per one class. So that can get kind of in the high range, but it's also really good if you're really worried about the yoga. So that's a con. And also if your teacher is sick or moves away, you kind of miss that connection and you kind of have to re-explain everything to the next teacher. So it's not that bad, but that is another con to think about. The next place is at the gym. So there are so many gyms out there and a lot of them offer yoga classes, and that's great because the price is generally built into your your gym membership. So that's amazing. You get that all in one bundle. It's located right at the gym, so you basically can run on the treadmill and then go into a yoga class or do some weights and go into the yoga class. You'll also most likely get hands-on adjustments there. Hands-on adjustments are kind of depending on teachers, but a lot of teachers do hand-on adjustments. And some cons, it's not exactly the most zen kind of atmosphere because I don't know, I haven't been to too many yoga classes, but you could, if there was one with glass, you can kind of see the other guys and they're like in the gym, doing their own thing, and that's awesome. But it can be a little bit distracting and it's not the most zen-like atmosphere, so it might feel not as relaxing as it could be either at home or at a yoga studio or so on. So yeah, those are some cons. Next place is at work. So there's this thing called corporate yoga. It's where the yoga teacher comes into the office and teaches you yoga, either on a mat or what I like to do is chair yoga. So you don't need that much space. You just need a boardroom with chairs and that kind of thing. So it's a really great thing. Usually the corporation, the company pays for the class. Sometimes you might have to pay a couple dollars here and there. It depends on what the company has a deal with the teacher and how they all work that out. But that is a lot cheaper than going to a studio. And also you get the hands-on adjustments and you don't even have to leave the office. You can do this right during lunch or after work, whenever they have it planned out. Some cons to this, however, is it's most likely going to be during lunch, so you might miss out on your lunch. So, I don't like missing out on any meals, and it might be hard to eat at your desk, so that is something also to consider. So, for beginners, the kind of places that I recommend the most would be at home. And if you can splurge, private yoga. The reason being is at home, it's very low investment. So you just need to pretty much get a mat and DVD or YouTube and just kind of start from there. And so you can figure out if you even like to do the practice. And private yoga, yes, it's more expensive, but you don't have to do it forever. You can just do a couple classes just to get a really solid foundation. You can ask the teacher all kinds of questions, and that's just so you have a very solid foundation. So those are the two places that I recommend doing it the most. Corporate yoga should be good because they generally make that very easy. Studio is great, but sometimes the sequences can go a little bit fast, so it might be a little off-putting if you've never tried yoga before. The gym, same thing. If the sequences are a little too fast and you're just like, whoa, where are we now? Kind of like lost in the sequence, that could be a little tough if that's like your very first class. So see if you can try it at home, private yoga, that kind of thing. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything else you'd like to add to this video, feel free to comment down below in the comment section. I will be checking them when I can, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Namaste.